Petra. How's training going?
It is going well. I am not having any troubles right now.
Good, good. At least things haven't gotten worse, right? So, did you hear what happened the other day? The professor, really.
Caspar.
Oh, whoa, okay, there's no need for that.
You are the son of my father's killer. That means I must be killing you and taking revenge.
What? I thought you said it wasn't a big deal. We're not our parents and all that.
Your optimism is not making sense. It is not possible that you are not having hatred for me. My father was killed. By the Empire. By your father. And so I will be impaling you on this blade to be satisfying a deep wish of mine.
A deep wish? What are you talking about?
I am talking about my wish. Of course, I am also having another wish. An even deeper wish. I wish for you and I to keep being friends. To keep fighting and surviving together. When you are speaking of your father, it is with a proud smile that injures my heart. But that is only a small thing. You also are working harder than anyone I am knowing, so I can't bring myself to be killing you.
I see. So you do hate me because of what happened, but you still want to be my friend? You haven't stabbed me yet, so you obviously want me to live more than you want me to die. I hope.
That must be the truth. More than all of it, I am not wishing to be losing you. It would give me great sadness.
Oh, okay, that's a relief. I don't want to lose you either, and I definitely don't want to fight you. To be honest, if things were the other way around, I don't think I'd be able to forgive you. I'd hate you, and I'd hate myself for feeling that way.
Caspar.
But you're not like that. You see me as your ally and your friend. You had the chance to kill me, but you used it to show me that you want me to live. You really are an incredible person, Petra. I want to be more like you. I want to prove that I'm a good friend. I promise, you won't regret letting me live.
You have my gratitude for your understanding. Hearing your words gives me great happiness. I was always feeling a barrier between our hearts. I am sure I was also the one putting it there. But from now onward, I will be sharing all of my heart with you. My grief and anger, joy and love, all of it.
I'd like that, Petra. From now on, we'll be more honest and open with each other.
Did you hear, Caspar? There's been another theft in the pantry.
Come on, we can't waste time arguing about it like last time. We gotta catch the guy. There he is! Corner him, Ashe!
I've cut off his escape route. He's all yours.
Ha! You're not going anywhere, you dirty thief!
We did it! He was pretty nimble, but no match for the two of us together.
I guess, but I didn't think our thief would be so...
Yeah, I never would have guessed a cat this big could sneak into our pantry.
So, what do we do with him?
We? Weren't you the one barreling on about striking the culprit down last time?
You really think I'm gonna attack him? Why don't you try your genius plan instead? Go ahead, talk it out. Let the cat explain himself. I doubt you'll understand a word the guy says.
I guess neither of us has the right solution here. So, what are we going to do with this? Oh!
Huh? Oh.
Looks like he gave us the slip.
He sure did.
Well, after a daring escape like that, I guess there's no more we can do.
I'll teach him a lesson if we ever catch him again. I thought of a pretty good plan to show him the error of his ways.
Well, I've got an idea of my own, so I guess I'd better find him first.
Is that a challenge? Well then, may the best plan win.
Why did this have to happen? Getting separated from my own troop. I'm a failure as a commander. It's already almost sunset. My wounds are aching, and I'm so hungry. Maybe I'm just gonna die right here. But no! That's such a pathetic way to die. I wonder if the rest of my soldiers are okay. I'm so worried about them.
Up and at 'em, Annette. There you go.
Caspar? What are you doing here? I was wounded in the forest, lost sight of my troop. I wandered around and Oh, where is everyone?
Calm down, you got nothing to worry about. They're fine. My men retrieved the rest of your unit. You're the one we've been worried about. How you feeling? Are you hurt? You've got a pretty painful-looking wound on your leg.
Oh, I'm alright. Though I might have trouble running.
If you say so. I gotta admit, I got the chills when I heard you were missing. Your soldiers told me what happened. I was only able to find you thanks to them. You've got a good troop there. You should be proud. What's wrong, Annette? Not feeling so good after all?
No, that's not it. I was just thinking about what a hopeless commander I am. It's my job to look after my soldiers, but they ended up having to look out for me. If I'm this hopeless, I shouldn't be out there at all.
What are you talking about? I don't know anyone around here who works harder than you. You put your all into your work and everyone knows it. Why do you think your soldiers are so loyal?
Caspar.
There's no way they'd do so much for you if they didn't see it in you. Come on, let's head back. I'll help you if you're having trouble walking. Your soldiers are worried about you. Go show them you're doing just fine.
Yes, you're right. Thank you, Caspar.
No problem. Just remember that it's okay to make mistakes, as long as you're learning from them.
Caspar, how have you been?
Oh, Shamir. I've been normal. Yep, totally normal.
What's wrong?
Nothing's wrong. Everything's normal.
Then you should try to act like it. If something is bothering you, say it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm disappointed, Caspar. I thought you were the type to always speak your mind.
All right, fine. You got me. Truth is that I heard something about you. I heard you fought in the battle between the Empire and Dagda.
Yes. And?
And I heard that you maybe lost someone important in that battle.
Perhaps. What's your point?
No point, not trying to make a point. I just didn't know you were involved in all that. I was hoping we could be friends, but you fought against the Empire. You obviously have every reason to hate them, so I'm sure you don't want me around.
What does my past have to do with you?
My father was responsible for a lot of what happened to the Dagdans.
Are you responsible for your father's actions?
Well, no, but kinda. I know I wasn't there, but I gotta...
Bring them back.
Huh?
If you're responsible, then bring back the lives that were lost. If you can't, then spare me your pity.
But...
Yesterday's enemy is today's ally. You have to abandon old feuds. Only then can you face me as a friend.
That's Bernadetta. Those thugs are pursuing her. What did the weakling expect running ahead? I can't leave her alone for 1 second.
You really ran us around, little lady. Nowhere to run now, though.
Ah, it's all over! I'm done for!
What? My sword!
Ah, the technique! No, I can't stand by and watch. You're not hurt, are you?
Felix, is that really you? Thank you so much. I was sure I was finished. You saved my life. I can never repay... Huh?
Shut your mouth and calm down. I should be thanking you.
What?
When you were surrounded, I got to see you use your technique again. I get it now. For just a moment, you flail your limbs like a wild creature. If I could learn to do that, I'd be unstoppable.
In that case, I'm happy to help.
I would be even more impressed if you hadn't been screaming the whole time.
Hey, come on! I was running for my life! Don't make fun of me for... Huh? No way.
Why are you staring at me?
You're actually smiling. Not like a sarcastic smirk either. A big goofy grin from ear to ear. You're just a big old nut, aren't you, Felix? Once you get through the shell, there's all sorts of good stuff inside.
You don't know me.
Aw, there's that shell again.
Okay, that's it. Quit making fun of me.
I didn't mean anything by it. I'm sorry. Frigid ocean waters. I can feel them already.
Calm, calm. Just listen to me for a moment. There's something I need to tell you. The reason I worked for House Varley, Bernadetta, was to kill you.
Ha! I knew it. I always knew you were out to kill me. Sink me into the deep, dark, freezing depths. Hold on. House Varley? But why?
As you well know, theirs is one of the 6 great noble houses, the true rulers of the Empire. And you're the heir, with a crest. There were tons of people who wanted you wiped out. Like people who want to eradicate House Varley. Or a relative who wants the glory for themselves. That particular breed of treacherous nobility is the kind that'd hire a kid to do their dirty work. The first thing that kid would do, get close to the target by befriending her. Find an in through, say, an assistant gig.
This kid you're mentioning sounds real. That was you, wasn't it?
Yours truly. My biggest mistake? Getting to know you. I crept into your room one night and readied my blade. The whole thing had been a breeze, up until that moment. I couldn't bring myself to do it. While I hovered there, hesitating, your father came in. You know the rest.
Why are you telling me all this? I'm so confused.
Because I want you to look at it objectively. I was hired to kill you. Your father protected you from me. A filthy assassin. He was looking out for you. You're lucky to have a father who cares for you enough to do that.
Father protected me? He protected me.
Yeah, why would I lie? At this point, I figure it's you who hates me, and not the other way around.
I don't hate you, Yuri. But I mean, I do feel weird. But I don't know how to feel. Can't we just be friends? Like back then?
You want to be friends with me?
The reason you couldn't kill me was because we were friends, right?
Well...
You were my first friend. My very first friend. The first person who played with me. The first person who went on adventures with me. The first...
And you were the first friend I had to baby that much.
What do you mean? Well, even so, You were the first friend who cared for me.
The whole thing was probably a sham anyway. Though, you know, even if it was, I did have a lot of fun with you.
I knew it!
You, get over here.
Get over here? How about I tell you to get out of here?
You're always following me around. At least make yourself useful. Let's spar.
What? Are you serious?
I don't joke. Draw your weapon, unless you intend to fight without one.
If you want to train, then do it on your own.
If you don't attack first, I will.
Okay. If you want me to knock some sense into you, who am I to say no?
For someone whose only aspiration is marriage, you're pretty strong.
Is this your attempt at flattery? Oh, it is, isn't it? When I was in the opera, I always trained for self-defense. Couldn't really get by without it. Nowadays, if you can't use a sword, then you're just in the way.
Perhaps I had you all wrong. I thought you were just a frivolous girl who cared only for men of status. On the contrary, you seem well aware of the realities of the world. I respect that.
Yeah, all right. I'm beat. I'm going to go sit down and relax with a cup of tea. You'll join me, naturally.
I will?
We just trained together. Are you really going to turn me down?
Just this once.
Good. Let's go for tea. While we're at it, shall you treat me to a meal?
Don't get carried away.
Oh, you're no fun.
Why am I so unlucky with women lately?
Oh, Sylvain, what's that face for? Have you been dumped again?
Isn't there an unwritten rule you shouldn't ask someone that?
I'm sorry. I thought you didn't mind being dumped. So your love life can get you down sometimes after all. Who knew?
I'm sad every time I break up with someone. It's just, I usually try to be the one doing the breaking up. I've never had a hard time with girls. Ever. Not until recently. But now when I think about it, I wonder what any of them even liked about me. It's not as if any of them knew much about me. I don't get it.
Isn't that what a relationship is for? Learning about someone else? You can't know it all right at the start.
I asked you before if you would have invited me out if I was a peasant.
You did ask me that, yes.
That was wrong of me to say. It's not an excuse, but I'm always so suspicious. I'm a nobleman with a crest. The marriage proposals don't stop coming. Everybody wants me. Except, they don't actually want me at all. They want my bloodline. Within my family and without. It's always the same story. Sometimes I think that if I didn't have a crest, no one would look at me twice.
I see. And you're probably not wrong. Honestly, I've had those same sort of thoughts myself.
Oh? What sort of thoughts might those be?
I sang, people cheered and applauded, and when I walked off stage, I'd find the same thing every night. A mountain of presents and marriage proposals. But none of those people knew me. All they knew was the singer they saw on the stage. All they wanted was my looks and my voice. None of them even tried to get to know the real me.
I'm pretty sure I've heard this somewhere.
We may come from different places, but we're much the same, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I suppose we are. Look, Dorothea, I've realized something. Even if you were an old grandma, I'd still flirt with you. And I'd absolutely win you over. Though, I'd much rather win you over now, and be with you until you become an old grandma.
That might be the most legitimately romantic thing you've ever said, Sylvain. And I can't say I disagree. I'd rather you win me over now, too, so that I can stay by your side until you're an old grandpa.
Well, before any of that, will you go to dinner with me?
I'd be happy to.
Dorothea, my dear, you must be tired from the extended fighting. May I get you anything?
Thank you, Professor Hanneman, but I'm fine.
You don't appear fine. Make sure not to overexert yourself. The war is not yours alone to fight. You have friends to rely on. We are here for you, always.
Thank you, but I really am fine. It's nice to know you're always thinking of me, though.
Well, of course. You're like a...
Like a what?
Nothing. You're a very good friend. That's all. And once the war is over, I want to be sure you have a pleasant life.
Is that so? It sounds like you're getting a little ahead of yourself, planning for the end of the war.
Ahead of myself? No, I don't think so.
Oh? You sounded like you were building up the courage to give me something. Something, small and round and ring-shaped?
Uh-huh. A ring, you mean? Well,
Oh, no. Am I wrong? I'm so embarrassed. I misunderstood.
Oh my! That's what you were thinking. I've misled you. I see now I phrased things just all wrong. I had no other intentions, I swear. I'm sorry. Please forgive me.
I could forgive you if you proposed properly. You got me excited, you know?
But I haven't.
It's okay. I'm just teasing. Don't look so scared.
Teasing? Ah, well, of course.
It's nice just to know you care about me. Maybe we should talk more about the future in the future. How's that sound?
Why, it sounds lovely. Quite lovely.
All right, Yurikins. Isn't it about time you let go of this grudge? I'm sorry I dragged you out onto the stage, but I can't believe you're still holding it against me.
I bear no grudge.
Then why do you get this stony look and face the other way anytime you catch a glimpse of me?
Oh, Ladybird. Truth be told, when I see you, it reminds me of my own self-loathing, of my past.
Huh. I didn't know you were carrying something like that.
You rose up from your hardships and became the lead singer for a prestigious opera, all on your own, while I made my way through the world by licking the boots of wretched nobles, watching you on stage from the sidelines. It wasn't until recently that I felt a real sense of accomplishment in my life. But recalling that first pivotal moment when I saw you on stage, you were brilliant. You shone like nothing I'd ever seen. Whenever I see you, Ladybird, I'm reminded of that moment. And in that moment, I had never felt so filthy and unlovable in all my life.
That's why you don't like singing? There's got to be more to it than that.
Back then, the Imperial capital was swarming with disgusting nobles, all of them vying for your attention, for the love of the Dorothea. Many were willing to compromise with an inferior substitute. If they couldn't have you, perhaps someone else was capable of singing just as sweetly.
You do what you must to chase your dreams. You say it left you filthy and unlovable, but my life didn't leave me unscathed either. There's not much love left in what I do. There was once, of course. As a child, I lived for singing. No matter how hard times got, I always had that. I counted myself so lucky to have met Manuela and joined the opera. But the more I sang for a living, the less certain I was that I loved it anymore.
You're a tricky one to assess. I can't tell if you're too wise or too naive for your own good. Whether or not your heart's in it now, you certainly didn't appear to hate it back then. I'd never seen you beam so brightly, as you did when you helped me train for the performance.
You might be onto something. I felt genuinely happy in that moment.
You just lost your spark for singing. Nothing more. It's how I feel about it in a way. How about this? Why not join an opera that doesn't have dealings with nobles?
That's a great idea, actually. We'll start something new together, you and me.
I don't know about all that now.
The world is full of people who fell through the cracks just like us. We'll take them in whenever we can and aim to become Fodlan's premier opera company. I can't remember the last time I was this fired up. Though, we'll have to table it until after the war.
Our own one-of-a-kind traveling opera. You know, that does sound fairly thrilling. I've no doubts it could help deepen our pockets.
Leave it to you to take all the romance out of it. But I know you're an idealist deep down.
Takes one to know one. I must say, I do enjoy seeing your mischievous side at work.
I'll take that as a compliment. I could say the same for you, too. It's exactly why I'm comfortable sharing this stream with you.
Over here, Petra.
Ashe, I do not have familiarity with this alley.
That's all right. This is the place I was talking about. It's not much to look at, but the food's incredible.
Here you are, friends. Enjoy your meal.
Looks great. Let's dig in.
Okay, I will be giving this my try. Oh, it has a delicious flavor. Ashe, what is this dish being called?
I'm not sure it has a name. They just kind of throw together whatever they've got. But that means you never eat the same dish twice. Not knowing what you'll get is part of the fun.
A dish of infinite varieties. You would not be finding such a wonder in a restaurant for nobles. A commoner technique indeed. I give you my gratitude, Ashe. I have learned a great many things about the commoner techniques.
No need to be so formal. I like showing you around. Not many people want to come to places like this.
But I am feeling that our deal has been very... one-sided. Are you sure you are not needing anything in exchange? If you are not wanting any curses, I can offer other information in trade.
Hey, come on, stop that.
Stop that? What am I stopping?
Talking about payment. You don't owe me anything. We're friends, aren't we? Friends don't pay each other for the time they spend together.
You and I are friends? Are you speaking truth?
I hope so, at least. So why don't we just talk about whatever we'd like, okay?
I have understanding. I will now be speaking whatever I wish. You are my friend. There are many things I am wishing for you to know. Shamir, can I be having your time? There is a thought that is giving me great concern.
Let's hear it, Petra.
If Dagda is ever invading Fodlan again, what will you be doing?
I'd join the army of Dagda. I'd lay waste to Fodlan and return to my homeland.
If that is the truth, then I am having one more question for you. If that was happening, would you be fighting your allies in the Imperial Army too?
Of course. You expect me to die for you? You should be prepared to do the same. Your homeland would likely join Dagda.
So, that is your truth.
Maybe. If you'd asked me 5 years ago.
Hmm?
I've been a mercenary since childhood. Always fighting for a bounty. If my allies didn't pay, I'd side with the enemy. It's why I became a sniper. Easier to dispose of anyone with a reward on their head. It's also why I joined the Knights of Seros. I owed them a debt, but that's all changed.
You are not fighting for money now?
That's right. When I see everyone fighting for Fodlan, I feel inclined to help. I won't die for the cause, but I will protect everyone. If the army of Dagda engaged you, I'd fight at your side.
Hearing that is giving... it gives me great joy. Until the war is finished, let us fight together.
This is why I keep telling people we need to keep her underground. The church records explain in full detail what a threat she poses to everyone's safety. It's a miracle that no one was hurt. Next time, we may not be so lucky.
What makes you so certain this incident was caused by her sighing? It seems unfair to cast blame until you're truly sure.
Isn't it obvious? A horde of monsters appeared out of nowhere and attacked us.
Uh-oh. You guys are talking about me, aren't you?
There you are. You won't get away with this crime. I'll make sure everyone knows who was to blame.
Hey, you didn't answer my question.
He doesn't care what we have to say. Forget about it.
No, you told me you had nothing to do with this. I can't just leave it alone.
Yes, you can. And you don't need to worry about it.
But I do. What if they pressured you into confessing something you hadn't actually done? They mean well, but they seem to think they have good reasons to suspect you. Those suspicions could lead to forceful questioning. They'll do anything to get to the bottom of this.
You're probably right. If he has his way, they'll do whatever they can to pin it on me. What about you? There isn't some part of you that agrees with that creep?
No. I know you don't sigh unless you absolutely can't help it. You would never endanger people like that unless something pushed you over the edge. I know this wasn't your fault. You said as much, and I believe you.
That's sweet. But unfortunately, your conviction isn't good for much on its own. We have no proof.
Then we'll find proof. If you didn't cause it, then something else did. We just have to find out what. I'll investigate the site where we were attacked. There could be a monster nest nearby.
You're so darn trusting, Freckles. For all you know, I could be lying.
Your commitment to honesty is as strong as mine. You'd never turn your back on our common bond.
You're just like the Luna Knight.
Hey, come on. I was being serious.
Sorry, I'm not laughing at you, I promise. I guess part of me was hoping to meet one of those storybook heroes. Now I finally have.
If that's how you feel, then I'm going to live up to it. I'll do my best to make sure you never sigh again.
What's the use? Even with all I've learned, I still don't understand. Hello, Constance. I hope I'm not interrupting. Not at all. I was just in need of a sympathetic ear. I found a magical scroll, which, unless I am mistaken, should relieve me of my woes. Oh, wonderful! Not so fast. The magic within this scroll is a type I have neglected to study. It pains me to admit this, but it may take decades of going back to the basics to grasp it. Decades? That's a long time to spend with your nose buried in an old piece of parchment. Why must the goddess dangle a solution before me, only to cruelly pull it away? There's no need to despair. To tell the truth, I like you just as you are. You do?
why. Those low moods of mine have never done anyone the least bit of good.
You're like a little sister to me. Nothing you do will change that. Not even a little bit.
Really?
Of course, you're my sweet Constance, and I like you just as you are.
I see. Perhaps my moods are not the great burden I thought they were.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to pressure you. No matter what decision you make, I support you.
I felt no pressure, I assure you. It's more that I feel embarrassed to have been embarrassed. I'd put so much effort into finding a magical means to alleviate myself that it never occurred to me that maybe all I needed was to accept myself.
What will you do with the scroll you found?
Oh, I'll continue to research it, for research's sake if nothing else, but I may have no need of it. It's not as if these moods of mine have ever hampered my efforts to restore my house. And I am as a sister to you, no matter which face I present, yes? Nothing, no mood, no foe, no obligation, will keep me from honoring my sisterly duty to protect you.
We can protect each other.
Good, it is settled. Now we can begin the hard work of reclaiming our titles.
Absolutely. We'll become sister sages and restore our houses to their former glory.
You understand the plan perfectly. If we walk this path together, it can only end in triumph.
Finally, you've arrived. I was beginning to get impatient. Have a seat.
What are you on about?
I'm not on about anything. Let's have dinner together, Yuri.
What is this? Did you make it?
I did. It's a simple dish. My culinary skills are fairly basic.
Hold on. What exactly is this about?
You cook for me, I cook for you. That's how this works. It may not be quite as elegant a meal as that of a Dresdian or Leicester cuisine, but the food of Fargus is delicious nonetheless.
Thank you for the meal. It was lovely, Ingrid. The flavors were nostalgic. Reminded me of when I lived with my mother and the Elder. I was actually born in a poor town in Fargus. The flavors in this dish remind me of those days. Sorry. I didn't mean to compare a meal made by nobility with the meager food I grew up eating.
No offense taken. To tell the truth, although my house is a noble one, it's also lacking in money. Our territory was struck by famine, and we ate whatever the land gave us, which wasn't much. We took what we could, just like everyone.
I see. Well, I must say that your cooking is quite to my taste. Any meal made with so much thought and care is bound to be delicious.
Why, thank you. High praise indeed, from someone who knows their way around a kitchen.
To survive in this world means to sharpen many skills, whether it's cooking or anything else, really. Although I've got to say, I do enjoy cooking. And if my meals can bring a smile to someone's face, all the better. Celebrating victories with friends, sitting around a table with loved ones, watching someone enjoy the meal I made them. Few things bring me more joy.
Have you ever considered giving up being the Lord of the Underworld and becoming a chef instead?
A chef, huh? You know, that doesn't sound half bad.
If you ever do, I'd come to your restaurant and eat whatever you'd whipped up every day.
I'd like that very much. I'd work extra hard so I could see that lovely smile of yours.
You are just too much. I can hardly maintain my composure around you.
Did I say something wrong?
Not at all, Yuri. Not at all.